Good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. The PDF for today's session has already been uploaded on our Telegram group. So here we are starting it out. The PDF has already been uploaded on our Telegram group. Let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. So अब देखेंगे आज के अखबार में हमारे लिए क्या खास है. So we have to do some adjustment. चलिए. So as you can see on the screen, we will be starting this session with the statement made by Muhammad Ali. He was a legendary boxer and he has said that I hated every time, every minute of training, but I said don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as champion. This is what the message is about. That preparation is really very important in our life. Okay, so you are preparing for UPSC. This is your preparatory stage. Okay, this is your preparatory stage. You are not supposed to quit during this particular time. We can understand while your preparation is going on, a person will undergo multiple, you can say, experiences related to the emotional breakdowns, etc, etc, etc. Those things will going to come, they will be coming here, but still you have to continue your action. You have to continue adding capacity, adding knowledge. Okay, that knowledge which is going to help you out in your prelims as well as mains exam. This is what the point is about. That should be your prime focus. Don't think about the pain. Always remember this thing. Pain is temporary, pride is forever. Okay, pain is temporary, but pride is forever. After selection, after becoming successful, the pride is going to stay with you. You will not even think about the pain. That pain is going to be there only for some time. Okay, it is not going to be there forever. It is going to be there only for some time. So you should not care about that pain, and you should keep your goal in your mind, and keeping that in mind, you should continue with your effort. This is what the idea is about. If you do that, if you don't quit while in preparation, definitely there will be positive results for you. कुछ ना कुछ पॉजिटिव हो ही जाएगा लाइफ में. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. सो लेट्स मूव टू द news portion here. So here we are just looking into this news now. The main news that we have is this: job growth key priorities, not the inflation. So basically this is the statement by Indian finance minister. Okay, Indian finance minister is coming out with the statement that at present the priority is job creation. Okay, and she's saying that inflation is not. Now what does this mean? It means that RBI can still go ahead with the reduced interest rate. Okay, interest rates are going to remain accommodative so that investment can pick up. And here we are talking about investment, specifically the private investment can pick up. That will further produce more jobs. This is what the focus is about. This is what she is saying. It's a message. It's a message that she is telling to the world that India is focusing on growth. Okay, India is focusing on growth. Invest in India. Government is going to facilitate a lot of things. Even she is pointing out about this thing that India and US, like, both can work together, as together they will form 30% of the global economy. Okay, so she's saying that India and US, they can work together. Okay, it's a really good opportunity that we will be working with United States. Definitely they do support us. US also wants an alternative to China. यूएस को भी चाइना का ऑल्टरनेटिव चाहिए, एंड डेफिनेटली इंडिया इज वन ऑप्शन फॉर दैट. दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. ओके, सो ये पॉइंट है जो हमें यहाँ पे समझना है. ठीक है जी, दैट्स व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. नाउ विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. आगे चलते हैं. सो लेट्स डायरेक्टली मूव टू द editorial section. Let's see what exactly is there for us in the editorials. Okay, तो सीधा हम editorial पे आएंगे और देखेंगे कि editorial में क्या है. So here we have this editorial, how ideology muddled the inflation control in India. So this is what he is pointing out. He is pointing about few things, that the government ideology, government thought process, okay, it has impacted the inflation control in the country. Inflation control, how can you link it with the ideology of the political party in power? So if the political party is associated with right wing, now right wing means they want cultural, you can say, supremacy. They want culture to be respected, maintenance of culture, sustenance of culture. This is also one of the factor that they want to maintain. Plus their focus will be on development. This is what the idea is about. Okay, so if you have a right wing government, then majorly their focus will be on growth, and they might not care about the inflation point. This is what he is saying. Okay, whereas if you have political party which is focusing on social sector, that political party will spend on subsidies. Okay, वो सब्सिडीज देंगे और सोशल सेक्टर के ऊपर फोकस करेंगे, एंड देयर विल बी मोर गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर. सरकार जो है वो काफी पैसा खुद खर्च करेगी. दिस इज व्हाट द आइडिया इज गोइंग टू बी. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट द आइडिया इज गोइंग टू बी. दिस इज हाउ द गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू स्पेंड मनी. सो दिस इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, दैट आइडियोलॉजी दे डू इम्पैक्ट. ठीक है जी, बिल्कुल असर पड़ता है इस चीज का. So right now, governor of RBI, now he stated that the inflation rate would be brought to its target level of 4% within 24 months. Means till 24 months, we cannot expect inflation to reach to the 4% target. Already you should know this, Monetary Policy Committee, they have been given the target to maintain inflation as 4 plus minus 2. Okay, this is the comfortable rate that we have to maintain. So maximum limit is 6. At present, the inflation in the country is somewhere around 6.7. Okay, and in August it may increase to 6.9. So that's the range that we are experiencing right now. So here the target, the RBI governor is saying that it will touch 4%. I am saying that it is important that we should bring it down at least below 6. 6 के नीचे तो लेके आना ही है, ठीक है ना. That's the priority here, because inflation has a big burden on the poor section of the society. उनके लिए काफी नुकसान हो जाता है, because they end up paying more, you can say, they end up paying more money for the basic products. Basic products के लिए भी उनको जो है ज्यादा पैसा देना पड़ेगा. This is how things are. ठीक है जी. So here now we have to get some lesson from the history. History हमें कुछ एक lesson देती है. So Great Depression was a crisis. Now Great Depression came in 1930. At that time there was complete situation of stagflation in the sense that inflation was also skyrocketing and growth was also not there. ना तो growth हो रही थी, ना inflation control आ रहा था. So at that time it was the government which took the lead, and they carried out socialization of investment. That is, government invested in the social sector. It was primarily the public funding that was used. Public funding को इस्तेमाल करके जो है they tried to, you can say, inculcate money, induce money in the market. This is what was done in 1930. तो ये चीज की गई थी. So at that time monetary policy by banks, they remained quite ineffective. जितनी भी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी बैंक ने लगाई वो सब कुछ एकदम से इफेक्टिव नहीं हो रही थी एट दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम. सो इट शोज दैट देयर आर टाइम्स when your monetary policy might not be able to produce results for you, and this is what is happening at present as well. आज की दुनिया को आप देखो, the present crisis that this world is dealing with, which is impacting the global economy. तो आपकी global economy आज किस चीज से impact हो रही है? Your global economy is primarily impacted by Ukraine Russia war, okay, your global economy is impacted because oil prices were skyrocketing, oil prices बहुत increase हो गए थे, your global economy was impacted because of corona. My question to you is this, इसमें रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया क्या कर सकता है? So central bank sometimes have limitation. These factors are not under the control of your central bank. This is what you have to understand. As these factors are not under the control of central bank, the efficacy of the monetary policy, it will go down. तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपके रिजर्व बैंक बहुत सारा एफर्ट मारे एंड कुछ भी उसका रिजल्ट ना हो. दिस इज व्हाट यूज्ड टू बी, यू कैन से इट इज व्हाट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग 1930. ग्रेट डिप्रेशन के टाइम पे भी यही हो रहा था, because whole lot the factors were different and are means central bank of multiple countries at that time, they tried their level best but this couldn't achieve the target क्योंकि factors different थे. Today also factors are different. Okay, so this is what this editorial is saying, that sometimes monetary policy may not be able to come out with the results. Then you have to focus on your fiscal policy. Fiscal policy primarily means related to the expenditure by the government, टैक्सेशन बाय द गवर्नमेंट, सरकार टैक्स किस पे लगाएगी, सरकार पैसा कहां खर्च करेगी, दोज फैक्टर्स बिकम इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड दिस इज द क्लासिक डिबेट एज वेल, विच इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, fiscal policy or monetary policy. So answer to this is that for facilitation of growth you need to have combination of both. दोनों चीजें हमारे लिए जरूरी हैं. मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी विल लुक इनटू द एक्सचेंज रेट, ओके, आपके रुपी के, आपके करेंसी के एक्सचेंज रेट को देखेगा. इट विल मैनेज द फ्लो ऑफ मनी, पैसे के फ्लो को देखेगा यहाँ पे, ओके, थ्रू इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड ऑल. सो इफ इंटरेस्ट रेट्स आर इंक्रीजिंग, the flow of money will go down. If the interest rate are decreasing, flow of money will increase. This is how things are managed. Fiscal policy will be about government expenditure, in which area they want to spend, subsidy kitni deni hai, tax kitna collect karna hai, and all those things. So combination of both are important. That's the way we achieve our, you can say, developmental goals. Development is also important and controlling inflation is also important, because inflation का सबसे बुरा असर किसके ऊपर पड़ता है? Poor section of the society. Okay, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the income, but they end up paying more money for the products. And primarily whenever we talk about inflation, it is in India food inflation which is having the bigger burden. जब भी हम इंडिया के अंदर इन्फ्लेशन की बात करते हैं तो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड दैट इट इज द फूड इन्फ्लेशन जिसका सबसे बड़ा असर पड़ता है. सो वी, अ पुअर मैन कैन नॉट, यू कैन से, रिड्यूस द इनटेक ऑफ फूड. खाना खाना बंद थोड़ी ना करेंगे, तो आपको एक्स्ट्रा पैसा डालना पड़ेगा. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. So we'll move to the next editorial, the hits and the miss in the Tengedco tariff petition. Okay, so here it is talking about Tamil Nadu Generation and Distribution Corporation Limited. This is the Discom distribution company, okay, in Tamil Nadu, electricity distribution company. Now the point is this is the sad state of discoms in India. Okay, so in India the discoms are under debt. One of the reasons that they are under debt, and they are loss making. Okay, so one of the reasons that they are under debt, because we don't revise the tariff. कहीं ना कहीं आपके यहाँ पे पावर टैरिफ रिवाइज नहीं होता है. ओके, वी आर स्टिल हैविंग रिड्यूस्ड टैरिफ, कभी टैरिफ रिवाइज नहीं होता. वी नो दैट इन इंडिया, ड्यू टू द पॉपुलिस्ट पॉलिसी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट्स, फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज गिवन, फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी दी जाती है फार्मर्स को. ओके, एज वेल एज सम गवर्नमेंट्स, दे आर कमिंग आउट विद द इलेक्टोरल प्रोमिसेस ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. तो आम आदमी पार्टी ने भी फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का एक तरीके से बात यहाँ पे की है. ठीक है जी, दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर, दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. So they are saying that it is not a right approach. You have to do something. You have to increase the tariff. Okay, over the time tariff have to be increased, because otherwise your electricity distribution company will not be able to sustain. भाई sustain तो नहीं कर पाएगी, because cost is there. आप इतना डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क लगा रहे हो, यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट इन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज वेल, यू हैव टू अपग्रेड योर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. टुडे यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्मार्ट ग्रिड. आज हम स्मार्ट ग्रिड की बात कर रहे हैं. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर, एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर टेक्नोलॉजी इंटेंसिव, एंड टू ब्रिंग इन न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी यू हैव टू स्पेंड मनी, एज सिंपल एज दैट. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड राइट नाउ. और उसके लिए टैरिफ तो बढ़ाना पड़ेगा ना, हम सब्सिडी लेके नहीं चल सकते हैं. So this is what they are saying. They are saying that there need to be an overarching energy policy that addresses the environmental issues and also ensure affordable supply. Now both these things are important. Environmental issues, that you have to move away from thermal से आपको shift होना है green, that means that renewable के ऊपर. Okay, थर्मल से रिन्यूएबल के ऊपर आपको फोकस करना होगा यहाँ पे. दिस इज व्हाट शुड बी आवर प्रायोरिटी. Along with that, the affordability also should be kept in mind. Affordability as well as availability. So power should be available 24/7. Okay, this is what the priority should be. So here, like this particular discom, they have announced that they will be increasing the tariff by 6%. Annual increase will be there. So reason is quite simple, that mounting debt, long pending payments to the generators. This is how things are done. Now these discoms, they buy electricity from the generators. पावर जो जनरेट करती हैं वो कंपनियां अलग हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. These companies are different. Power producing companies are different. Okay, this is how things are. Yes, free electricity will be a freebies. So पावर जनरेशन जो है वो अलग कंपनीज करती हैं, तो दे ऑल्सो हैव टू कैरी आउट विद द पेमेंट. उनको पेमेंट नहीं दोगे तो आपको पावर क्यों देंगी वो, एज सिंपल एज दैट. सो फॉर दिस पर्पस इट इज रिक्वायर्ड दैट you need to increase the tariff. If your discom is loss making, they will not be able to procure power procure नहीं कर पाएंगे. So this is how the situation is right now. Now you have to understand, you have to match this gap between cost of the supply and the revenue that they are generating. So revenue is important because you need to have your future plans. To implement your future plans, future developmental ideas, you need money. उसके अंदर पैसे की जरूरत पड़ेगी, बिना पैसे के नहीं होगा, तो आपको उसके लिए थोड़ा रेवेन्यू इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा. ओके, देयर इज ऑल्सो अ रिक्वायरमेंट टू अपग्रेड एंड मॉडर्नाइज द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क. अगेन दैट इज ऑल्सो मनी इंटेंसिव, फिर रेवेन्यू आपको जनरेट करना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो दिस आइडिया ऑफ एडजस्टिंग द टैरिफ, that every year 6% increase will be there, it is quite a positive step, in the sense that it is making the revenue and the purchasing system more transparent, more predictable. Now consumers, they will be knowing it, that every year 6% increase is going to be there. हर साल 6% इंक्रीज होगा. सो ये चीज पता है कंज्यूमर्स को. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट कंज्यूमर्स, दे ऑलरेडी नो. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. एंड parallel to that, there is another thing that we have to look into mind, that is green tariff. Green tariff in the sense, the tariff of renewables should be in a limit of affordability. इतना ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो अफोर्डेबल ना हो. वी नो दैट इट इज़ इम्पोर्टेंट, वी हैव टू शिफ्ट टुवर्ड्स रिन्यूएबल्स, बट दैट शुड बी एज पर द मीन्स पेइंग कैपेसिटी ऑफ द पीपल. And today, if you talk about, the green tariff has been reduced significantly. Renewables, wind energy, solar energy. Okay, so with competitive bidding and every other thing, we have been able to reduce the tariff. बहुत सस्ता हो गया है, इतना सस्ता हो गया है कि कोल जितना ही पहुंच गया है वो. This is what the point is about. So we can definitely work upon this as well. Today you have different sources of, you can say, power, and we are working on that. But over the time we have seen that dependence on coal is still going to exist. कोल के ऊपर डिपेंडेंस हमारी रहेगी, एंड दिस डिस्कॉम इज ऑल्सो फोकसिंग अपॉन. 87% of their supply is coming from the thermal power plant and only 13% from the renewables. Okay, so we have to fix this particular match. Now it is suggested that we need to have energy mix. Okay, कि एक जगह से मत लो, एनर्जी मिक्स हो, that some say 50% you can take from thermal and 50% you can take for renewable. This is what is the ideally suggested thing here, because we cannot rule out the thermal is still going to be the one of the cheapest. Okay, and in the night most of your renewables will not be able to work. If the wind is not there, wind electricity cannot be created. If you can say sun is not there, then solar electricity cannot be created. Okay, so for having a 24/7 supply, definitely we cannot rule out the availability, or you can say option of thermal power. Thermal power is still going to be very important. Another point is this: coal is domestically available. Okay, coal हमारे यहाँ पे available है. So in this way we cannot move out, reduce our dependence from the coal. कोल के ऊपर हमारी डिपेंडेंस रहेगी, but we need to have a mix of energy. And having a large scale solar and the wind technologies, wind power plants, basically it is also an area where you will be creating more jobs. वहां पे employment opportunities भी अच्छी खासी हैं, ठीक है ना? Here you will be creating more job opportunities as well. This is what the overall scene is. So despite the climate change commitment, there are still plans to add coal capacity, because coal is still one of the important source. Yes, nuclear energy can also be used. This is what the thing is about. Okay, ये सारी चीजें हैं. So we'll move to the next editorial. Next editorial is about the evolving role of CSR in funding NGOs. Okay, so you should know this thing: corporate social responsibility as per the Companies Act. Okay, as per the Companies Act, companies have to shell 2% of their profit as corporate social responsibility. Now most of the companies, what they are doing, they are handing over this money to NGOs. Okay, so social work that is mandatory on their part, they are doing it by funding the NGOs. This is the way that they have, you can say, devised. इस तरीके से वो funding जो है अपनी वो NGO को fund कर रहे हैं. ठीक है जी, this is how things are. Now, before getting into detail, okay, before starting what this editorial is saying, let me tell you some additional points associated with this. Now the point is this, one additional point is this: the CSR funding, it has been seen, it is quite skewed. It is quite skewed in the sense, the NGOs that are funded, majorly they are working in South India. Okay, because these companies are also registered in South. They may be registered in Maharashtra, Mumbai, Bengaluru. Okay, so their operation is primarily in South. This is what it has been seen. But demand and need, okay, if you look into the need is in North India, need is in Northeast. So there these NGOs are not working and utilizing the corporate social responsibility fund. जहां पे खर्च करना चाहिए वहां पे वो नहीं कर रहे हैं. This is what is happening right now. Okay, this is what is happening right now. ये सारी कहानी चल रही है. ठीक है जी. Now other important point you have to understand, the CSR funding that they are doing, majorly it is skewed in the sector areas as well. भाई ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या करेंगे, एजुकेशन पे खर्च करेंगे और हेल्थ के ऊपर खर्च करेंगे. 70-80% of the money will be used for these two sectors. Now my question to you is this, that is it sufficient? क्या ये सही है कि only in these two sectors you are spending your money? ले दे के इन्हीं दो सेक्टर के ऊपर आप सारा पैसा अपना खर्च कर रहे हो. Is it the right approach? Certainly not. So it is important that we should have a more inclusive or balanced corporate social responsibility. वो balanced corporate social responsibility का होना आपके लिए बहुत जरूरी है. This is what the overall point is about. Okay, and that's the main logic. Here. तो ये चीज है जो हमें यहाँ पे समझनी है. And in this editorial they are also pointing about different things. They are saying that today corporate social responsibility is seen as one of the way to fund NGOs, and NGOs are also surviving because of the corporate social responsibility. Okay, तो CSR के through ही NGOs survive करती हैं. Now what has happened, and specifically this problem appeared during the COVID, you can say, migration crisis and all, when we were dealing with that. Now these small companies, they were not doing any business. तो ये companies तो business कर नहीं रही थी. Okay, as they were not doing any business, their funding also went down. Corporate social responsibility funding also went down. Now as they went down, operation of the NGOs were completely disturbed. This is what has happened over the time. That's a challenge. So because this overdevelopment was developed, NGOs were not able to work. They were not getting any money. They were left with only money for say 3 months. 3 महीने का पैसा उनके पास बचा था. कुछ भी नहीं था वो पैसा. 3 महीने का पैसा सिर्फ उनके पास बचा था. Okay, that was the point. That was the point. So here they say that NGOs need to work upon more, you can say, sources for money. Over reliance on corporate social responsibility is not right. And even the companies, they need to think about it. Companies को भी यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं सोचना पड़ेगा. Okay, that what should be their, you can say, what should be their prime focus. किस तरीके से उनको पैसा करना है. They need to have some arrangement. पहले से ही arrangement करके रखना पड़ेगा, करना चाहिए. This is and that, this and that. This is what the overall system that should be placed. So that was the thing here. Now as I told you, 90% of the CSR funders, they were relatively small. तो वो थोड़े small उसी के थे. And as they were relatively small, means during the COVID crisis, they were primarily hit. Small players के ऊपर ज़्यादा नुकसान हुआ था. They were majorly hit. Okay, वही ज़्यादा hit हुए थे. So this is what the thing was. This is what the thing was. This editorial was highlighting about this type of problem. Okay, अलग type की थोड़ी problem थी. Now, if the question will come in your GS paper 2, please do mention about this problem and link it with the COVID crisis. तो उसको COVID crisis के साथ भी आप थोड़ा link up करना. Okay, so let's move to the next editorial. Next they are saying that time for joint space exercise. Okay, see the point today, things have changed. Space has become other arena. Okay, other arena for military conflict, because different countries, they have developed their capacities to target the satellites as well. Satellites को destroy करने की capabilities भी countries के पास आज की डेट में आ गई है. And they do have this capacity. India have, Russia have, China have, okay, European Union, they all are having these capacities. Okay, this is what the point is about. Now in this, they are suggesting that this is the time that India and US, they should work together. Okay, because already the militarization of the space is taking place. Even if we don't want it to be there, but दुनिया ऐसे चल रही है. The world is moving in that direction. Militarization of cyberspace is going on. Militarization of, you can say, space is going on. So we cannot seriously stop it. But what we can do is this: we can carry out our preparation. हमें अपनी प्रिपरेशन को अंडरमाइन नहीं करना है. एंड हेयर बोथ द कंट्रीज हु आर लाइक माइंडेड, दे कैन वर्क टुगेदर ऑन दिस. हम और यूएस दोनों साथ में मिलकर काम कर सकते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. वी कैन डेफिनेटली वर्क टुगेदर विद यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. दैट्स द लॉजिक दैट वी हैव. यही चीज है जो हमें यहाँ पे ध्यान रखनी है. ठीक है जी, दिस इज व्हाट इट वाज. दिस इज व्हाट इट वाज. सो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट you can say portion here. So content moderation on Wikipedia. Okay, so this is not important, we will not be picking it up. Now mandatory requirements for packed commodities. Okay, so here you have some news for your prelims, so you can note it down as this is completely factual. So Department of Consumer Affairs, they have amended legal metrology packed commodities rules 2011. Okay, what the modification is about, क्या change किया है इन्होंने. They have changed that, like this is the suggestion that they have made, that manufacturers, okay, they have to list at least 2 ingredients on the front side. Right now what these manufacturers do, they will list them on the back side. आज की डेट में पैकेज की बैक साइड के ऊपर ये इसको लिस्ट करते हैं. But here the point that they are making is this: instead of listing it on the back side, it is important that we list it on the front side. कि हम उसके front side के ऊपर जो है at least 2 major ingredients need to be mentioned, so that your consumer can be more aware. It is related to the consumer awareness. Consumer need to be more aware that at the end what exactly are they consuming, कि वो क्या चीज कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, इसकी अवेयरनेस वो आपके कंज्यूमर को होनी चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट एंड द लॉजिक इज अबाउट. Okay, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing because there are a lot of hidden stuff that is there, and consumer may not be even able to know. So here things are to be highlighted. That's what the priority is about. So we'll move to the next point. Next is about this cabinet approves PM Shri scheme. Okay, so here the detailing is about the PM Shri scheme. Again, important for your prelims. आपके prelims के लिए आपको content मिलेगा because we need to know what exactly is there in this scheme, and specifically this scheme is related and associated with the education sector. Okay, so education sector, social sector areas, they are quite important areas for our UPSC preparation. तो हमारी UPSC preparation के लिए वो important हो जाती हैं. So here under this particular scheme, government schools will be selected. Okay, if the state they are agreeing to implement new education policy in entirety. So this scheme has been introduced as centrally sponsored scheme. School will get 2 crore as direct benefit transfer from the union. This is what the idea is, and that 2 crore will be used for improvement in infrastructure, etc. Okay, this is what the focus is about. But the condition is that state they have to implement new education policy in totality, कि पूरी आपको वो लागू करनी पड़ेगी. Now some states they were having some problems with the new education policy, specifically the introduction of 3 language that they have to be teaching in schools. So specifically Tamil Nadu and some other states, they have problem with this. But right now, union government is luring the states that, okay, states, they do implement new education policy and they will get the fund for that. That's the major logic, okay. So scheme will be implemented as centrally sponsored scheme with a total project cost of 27,360 crore, where center is giving 18,128 crore, okay, for the period of 5 years. And the idea is that it will be transforming nearly 14,500 schools. But that money will only be given if the states are agreeing to implement a new education policy in totality. This is what the law, this is what the logic, this is what the condition is about. So I told you school will receive nearly 2 crore rupees, okay. Principal or the local committee will be given the flexibility to determine the use of 40% of the fund. तो प्रिंसिपल अपने हिसाब से डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कि कहां पैसा खर्च करना है. दिस फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी विल बी प्रोवाइडेड. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because they know the requirement of the school and accordingly they can spend money. This is what the logic is about. This scheme will also provide a school quality assessment framework that will measure the performance of school. कि स्कूल का परफॉर्मेंस कैसा चल रहा है उसको वो मेजर करेंगे. फॉर दैट स्कूल क्वालिटी असेसमेंट फ्रेमवर्क हैज बीन डेवलप्ड. दिस इज व्हाट द होल थिंग वाज अबाउट पीएम श्री. तो ये पीएम श्री की पूरी खबर है जो आपको मालूम होनी चाहिए. ठीक है जी, लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. आगे चलते हैं. सो पॉजिटिव सेक्युलरिज्म इज अलाउड स्टूडेंट टू सुप्रीम कोर्ट इन हाई हिजाब केस. ओके, so what is this concept of positive secularism and negative secularism? Okay, so when we talk about secularism, it is said that in India we have a positive secularism and in West, okay, we have negative secularism. Negative secularism means absolute separation of state from religion. This is what they think. For us, instead of having absolute separation, we say that all religion, they are equally respected. All religion, they are equally respected. कि सारे religion हमारे लिए equally हैं, equal हैं. Okay, all are equally respected. This is what we think as a definition of secularism. Clear? Now the point here, they are debating about this hijab case. So the student, like, she is putting up this thing that we have a positive secularism, that there is a respect for all the religion and you need to have tolerance for all religious faith. So if they want to wear hijab, it's their religious faith and that should be respected. This is what she is coming out with. Clear? She's saying that we don't have a negative secularism where you are going to, you can say, completely separate the public areas from the religious faith and practices. This is what she was saying. Other point that was argued was that secularism doesn't mean that students of only one faith are banned from their displaying religious identity. If you want secularism to be there, then it should be for all. सबके लिए बराबर होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि सिर्फ like हिजाब ही बैन हो रहा है. It should not be like that. Okay, it should not be like that. Whole lot of other things they should also be looked into. वो बाकी फैक्टर्स को भी आपको थोड़ा कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है ना, एक रिलीजन टारगेट नहीं होना चाहिए. दैट वाज द पॉइंट दे आर कमिंग आउट विद. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट इट वाज देयर. अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है. सो इंडिया फेसेस थ्रेट ऑफ सिविल वॉर. अब देखो ये भी इट इज क्वाइट एब्सर्ड व्हाई दे आर कमिंग आउट विद दिस स्टेटमेंट. तो काफी गलत है इस टाइप की स्टेटमेंट लेना. सिविल वॉर कैसे होगा भाई, ऐसे थोड़ा ना हो जाता है. So army undertakes major infrastructure drive along the LAC in Arunachal. See, it is really important. It is really important, okay, that we need to have good infrastructure, specifically in the northeastern region, because you need to have good roads so that you can mobilize your military on time. And the point is this: you have to match up the infrastructure that Chinese are having. You have to match that up. That's the important thing here. We need to prioritize upon these areas. इन चीजों को prioritize करना हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है. ठीक है जी? That what's the point is about. You need to have road infrastructure. You have to have good communication network. Okay, communication network की आपको strengthen करना पड़ेगा. So that not only just the armed forces they will be benefiting out of it, even the people living in that area, they need to have some benefit from that particular development. उनको भी लगना चाहिए कि वो develop हो रहे हैं. ठीक है ना? So this is what the whole logic is about. Okay, and at the end of the day, it is part of our strategy to strengthen our defenses against China. So China के against हमारे defense को strong करने के लिए definitely infrastructure के बिना तो नहीं हो पाएगा वो. This is what the point is about. Okay, so we move to the next particular news, that is breather for coal plants draws anguish. Okay, see the point is this here. Now multiple times ministry has issued instructions that the thermal power plants, they need to be improved. Okay, they need to be improved. New equipment need to be installed there. New system need to be installed there so that you can remove emissions of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, mercury. Okay, ये सारी चीजें आप निकाल सको. ठीक है ना? Because these are poisonous. These are the polluting elements. So it is important that for pollution control you remove these particular you can say substances from the residue or smoke that is generated after power generation through coal power plant. ठीक है जी? तो उसके लिए multiple times a deadline has been extended. Now again the deadline has been extended. ये दोबारा अभी डेडलाइन एक्सटेंड हो रही है. पहले भी डेडलाइन 2022 तक थी. नाउ दे आर सेइंग दैट एक्सटेंडिंग इट टू 2024. This is the pace of, you can say, modernization of thermal power units in India. You have to modernize the thermal power units. You have to make them quite efficient so that you can reduce the pollution. ये सारी चीजें करनी हमारे लिए जरूरी हैं. This is what the point is. Other thing is this: for prelims, okay, you need to know whenever we are burning coal, sulfur dioxide is released, nitrogen oxide is released, and mercury is also released. कोयला जब आप जलाते हो, नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड, मर्क्यूरी, सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड तीनों ही निकलते हैं. ठीक है जी? मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स विल बी नोइंग अबाउट दिस थिंग दैट सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड एंड नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड आर लाइक दे आर रिलीज्ड, बट थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन मर्क्यूरी के ऊपर होता है. तो मर्क्यूरी भी रिलीज होता है. वी नीड टू कीप इट इन आवर माइंड. ओके, उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा हमें ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट. ओके जी, सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है. सो हियर देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं. So WHO stresses on prevention of non-communicable disease. Okay, see, it is important that we need to protect ourselves. We need to control the non-communicable disease. इनको कंट्रोल करना वाकई हमारे लिए ज़रूरी है. क्यों इनको कंट्रोल करना ज़रूरी है? Because they are a big, you can say, financial burden ऑन द गवर्नमेंट। इनका जो फाइनेंशियल बर्डन है वो ओवर द टाइम काफी इंक्रीज होता जा रहा है। दैट्स व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट। सो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी नीड टू डील विद दिस नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज। नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज प्राइमरीली मींस डायबिटीज टाइप ऑफ डिजीज। ओके, उन सब चीजों को हमें रोकना पड़ेगा। ठीक है जी, दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट। So, Z Putin set to hold talks in Uzbekistan. Even Modi ji is also going to talk with Putin. Modi ji भी पुतिन के साथ बात करेंगे। They will be discussing about few things. क्या प्लान है, वॉर बंद करना है कि नहीं करना है, एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स। ओके, तो यही छोटी मोटी बातें जो हैं वो सारी डिस्कस होंगी यहाँ पे। सो दिस इज व्हाट इट वाज अबाउट, एंड इट्स अ गुड थिंग। इट्स अ गुड थिंग दैट वी आर एंगेजिंग विद देम। एंगेज करना तो बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। ठीक है जी, दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज। ओके, अदर देन दैट ऑन दिस पेज देर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे। सो आगे चलते हैं सीधा economy page पे. So here we have this page which is saying that inflation is not a red lettered priority for government. The same thing I mentioned it earlier. Okay, so start front page पे भी वही news थी that she is saying that now is the time we need to work upon investment so that we can generate employment. Okay, so employment हमारे लिए ज़रूरी भी है। देखिए क्यों हमारे लिए employment ज़रूरी है। We say that we are a demographic dividend है हमारे पास। ठीक है जी, we are a youthful nation, काफ़ी youth है हमारे यहाँ पे। But if those youth they are deprived of, you can say, education, they are deprived of employment opportunities, so your demographic dividend may end up as demographic disaster. हम ये अपॉर्चुनिटी लूज कर देंगे अगर हम अपने यंगस्टर्स के लिए जॉब्स नहीं प्रोवाइड कर पाएंगे। सो दिस इज व्हाट द ओवरऑल लॉजिक इज अबाउट। दैट्स व्हाई निर्मला सीतारमन शी इज सेइंग दैट लाइक इन्फ्लेशन चलता रहेगा बट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन इज ऑल्सो वेरी क्रिटिकल। ओके, दिस इज व्हाट द थिंग इज अबाउट। सो वोस्टॉक एक्सरसाइज ये सीएसओ के अंडर ये एक्सरसाइज की जा रही है रशिया के अंदर। ठीक है जी, दिस इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज अबाउट। ओके, so one student is asking, sir, what is the difference between union minister of state and union minister in the central government? Okay, so when you talk about ministries in the, you can say, union, अगर हम ministries की बात करें, so here you have different type of ministries, एक hierarchy आती है। One is the cabinet minister. Okay, एक होते हैं कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर। नाउ ओवरऑल देर इज अ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर। इन काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर देर इज कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर, देर इज ऑर्डिनरी मिनिस्टर। ओके, एंड देन यू हैव मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट। मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट, मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट आर देयर प्राइमरीली टू असिस्ट। इनका काम असिस्ट करने का है। ठीक है जी, इनका काम असिस्ट करने का है। ठीक है, मीन्स देर विल बी अ मिनिस्टर हु विल बी देयर, Minister of State will be there to assist that minister. This is what the thing is about. Cabinet means important minister. So this is the hierarchy that we have. Council of Minister में इस तरीके के चलता है काम. Then you have deputy minister as well. एक deputy minister भी होता है. This is what the whole logic is. Is it clear? This is what the whole logic is. Okay, that was the point. So this is what we have in today's session. I guess these sessions are adding value to your preparation. So that's it for the day then. Thank you very much. This is what we have in today's session. Thank you. Sir, but Russia is in war, but how exercise is carrying out by Russia? सब parallel चलता रहता है। वॉर का मतलब ये थोड़ी ना है कि लाइक पूरे रशिया में लड़ाई चल रही है। वॉर इज गोइंग ऑन इन यूक्रेन। एक्सरसाइज तो आप कहीं पे भी कर सकते हो, रशिया में कर सकते हो। नाउ दिस एक्सरसाइज दे आर कंडक्टिंग नियर द लाइक सी ऑफ जापान। तो ये सी ऑफ जापान के आसपास भी चल रही है इसकी एक्सरसाइज। तो सिर्फ रशिया, रशिया इज़ अ वेरी बिग कंट्री। ओके, रशिया इज़ अ वेरी बिग कंट्री, इट इज़ नॉट कन्फाइंड टू वन पार्ट। ये एक्सरसाइज अभी आपकी थोड़ा अलग जगह पे चल रही है। I hope it is clear. So thank you very much. No, it is not there to specifically coordinate between states. Okay, यूनियन मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट इज नॉट देयर टू कोऑर्डिनेट बिटवीन स्टेट्स. ऐसा कोई स्टेट के साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करने का लिंक नहीं होता है. ही इज गोइंग टू देयर टू असिस्ट द यूनियन मिनिस्टर. आपके यूनियन मिनिस्टर को ये असिस्ट करने का काम है.